How many of you caught my live last week talking about omega-3s and the importance of what that can do for you? Well, today we're going to have a little follow-up because I had a lot of questions from last week. So we're going to have part two talking about omega-3s and fish oil. My name is Amy Gill. I am your pharmacist that cares. So last week we talked about the difference between omega-3 fish oil and omega-3 plant-based, all the benefits you can get from the omega-3s. Well, I had some questions come in because of the fish oil. So I had people asking me about mercury because that is a problem when we're talking about fish oil and when we're talking about eating fish to get the omega-3s. Because a lot of people will do that because they're like, oh, I don't want to take a supplement. I'd rather just eat the fish. So that's what we're really going to talk about today is the mercury content and how that can be harmful to you. Now, when we're talking about omega-3 fish oil, the capsules you go get at your local pharmacy that you're going to come ask me about, when we're talking about that, usually those are made from cold water fish like anchovies, sardines, herring, mackerel, but not king mackerel, regular Atlantic mackerel. Those things, that's what they use to make the fish oil capsules. Now, if you have a quality manufacturer, they're going to go through a purification system and they're going to try to remove as much of that mercury from the oil before they make it to the capsule. But nothing's going to be 100% when they do this. But if you are wanting to get one of those fish oils from the pharmacy, just make sure that you're looking for one from a quality manufacturer. I can help you with that if that's something you're looking for, if you really want the fish oil. But last week, remember we talked about the plant-based alternative, the algae-based. So with this one, there's absolutely no risk of mercury at all because it is plant-based. So that's going to be your safest alternative to worrying about any mercury exposure when it comes to taking those omega-3 capsules. So what are the health risks of mercury? I'm talking about this, but why is this a concern to us if we're getting too much mercury in our system? Lots of things. So for the nervous system, number one, it's in adults, there can be tremors, there can be memory issues, there can be difficulty concentrating, changes in your mood, numbness in your hands and feet. And that's in adults. Now, when it comes to a young child or even an unborn fetus, that is going to be developmental delays. They can have poor coordination. They can have learning disabilities. And that is why when you're pregnant, you get this list of things you're not supposed to eat. And that's exactly why you're not supposed to eat these things that are high in mercury for this exact reason. This is nothing to mess around with. Why in the world? You can avoid it for a few months, right? So please definitely heed those warnings. The cardiovascular system can be affected. It can increase your blood pressure. It can increase your risk of heart disease. It can impair your kidney function. It can trigger abnormal, it can trigger abnormal immune responses. Nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, all these are things that can happen when you are getting too much mercury in your system. All terrible, terrible things. But dose does matter, okay? Just like when we're talking about a dose, of any kind of medication, dose does matter. So occasional exposure from low mercury fish is generally safe. So if you're looking to get those omega-3s from fish and what you're eating during the week, then that's where you really want to get a piece of paper and pay attention or rewatch me in a few minutes. So these particular fish are going to be safe to eat 2 to 3 times a week. They have low mercury content, but you're still going to get the omega-3s for them. So we're talking salmon, sardines, anchovies. Is anybody making faces? Because I mean, salmon, fine, but so far, not so much. The Atlantic mackerel, rainbow trout, herring, and whitefish. All of those things are low in mercury, but you can still get the benefit of the omega-3s. Now, there are a lot of other fish you can still eat that you don't have to worry about the mercury content, that you don't have to get, it's still gonna have low mercury content like tilapia, love it. But the problem with tilapia, yes, it has low mercury content, but you're not gonna get a lot of omega-3s from it. So it's fine and healthy to eat, but if you're trying to get the omega-3 benefit, you're not gonna get much from something like tilapia. Now, these are the ones that have moderate mercury content. Really, max of once a week is all you should be eating these fish. Snapper, grouper, halibut, tuna, the particular canned white tuna. And I know people eat that a lot. So out of the rest of them, I'm saying probably the canned white tuna is the one that most people need to watch out for because that is moderate mercury content. And if you're eating that multiple times a week, there could be issues. So all of these things really need to be taken into account. Remember, everything in moderation, I talk about that, but some things need to be in moderation than others. So these fish you want to avoid, they have very high mercury content. Now, these fish that I'm going to list, these are the predator fish. So, and that over time, as these fish just, age and age and age, the mercury just builds up. So king mackerel, that's a problem. Shark. And I know I'm sure people have had a shark steak and things like that when they're out and about. I mean, how many times have you had one? Once, twice? Is it something you have all the time? No. Is that a problem if you've tried it? No. So again, you guys don't say, oh my gosh, I had this once. What in the world? I'm going to fall apart. I've got so much mercury in my system. No, once in a while is fine. You just don't want to make a habit. If you're, out and about, you're like, ooh, shark's on the menu. I'm going to try it. Fine, try it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Swordfish. That's what I know that's, depending on where you're traveling, that can be on the menu too. But again, once in a while, just to say you've had it, fine, have it. Tilefish, but particularly from the Gulf of Mexico, is an issue. And big eye tuna. So these are often found in sushi. This is a problem because when you are if you go to a sushi restaurant, you're looking at the menu, or you're, on the coast somewhere and you're, going to have sushi, that can be a problem. So, because most times it's just going to say tuna. So if this is something you frequent and you like sushi and you like to have tuna, please check which particular kind of tuna and check the mercury content of that, because that is important. I know people love sushi and that definitely can be an issue, and marlin as well. So these are things that are high. Again, once in a while, if you just say, I want to try it, that's fine. I wouldn't make a big habit of it. But a lot of people are looking for ways to eat healthier. And, fish is a good way to eat healthier. So I just named a few that definitely that are going to be high in omega-3s, but either low, moderate, or things you need to avoid when it comes to mercury content. There are a ton of fish out there that are going to have other health benefits, just not going to be really rich in your omega-3s. So again, if you're looking for a supplement, but don't want to worry about that mercury content, let's chat about the algae-based one I talked about last week. Because remember, you're not going to have the fishy burps. It's not going to have the smell. It's going to have that nice smell of orange essence, just like you just peeled a couple of oranges. So that's really the way to go, because if you are going to eat fish in your diet, you might as well cut out mercury from your supplements. Sorry about the dog. I think probably the garbage man is here this morning, as he usually comes about this time. So if you guys have questions, I love this. I love that people asked me questions about last week, and we got to follow up about it this week and talk a little bit more about it, because that's exactly what I want. I want engaging you guys, because that is what is important. We want to make this interactive. So if there's other things you have questions about, if there's other topics you want to discuss, let's have that. That's what I'm looking for. If there's other people you'd like me to interview, again, reach out. So today, what I'm asking you, if omega-3s are something you are looking for, I had a lot of people contact me last week. Let's have a conversation about those. Let's talk about the safe thing for you and your family to help with your brain function, heart function, all those benefits of omega-3s, but avoiding the mercury issues, because that really can have long-lasting effects. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares.